People have said this on paper. Crawford coming in, you're probably his toughest test. Do you think the same for Crawford?
Yes. I think that when I'm looking across the ring for myself, I'm seeing the next best thing to myself, to be honest with you. Because you could talk about his skills, you could talk about his speed, his power, his ability to adjust, his ability to box, his ability to counterpunch, his ability to understand what to do and when to do it. I mean, I'm not looking at a mirror. I'm not looking at a mirror image of myself, but at the same time, I do feel like I'm looking at the next best thing out there.
And finally, you mentioned the home crowd. Who do you think that will favor on November 20th?
Me. I got a feeling the home crowd's going to favor Showtime Shawn Porter. I think that while people have learned Terence Crawford and have grown to know him to be a dominant fighter, I think that people have really taken to my personality, my story, and who I've become to the sport. And I think for those reasons, there's going to be more Showtime fans out there than Bud fans.
All right, we got time for one more for Shawn. We'll go to Ismail Abdul Salam.
Thank you. Shawn, now that you've been doing your podcast, you've been on the media side, and I'm sure you realize how important it is to create narratives and set narratives in the industry. What do you feel is the biggest narrative that needs to be dispelled heading into this fight on the 20th?
Wow, great question. You know what? I think that somehow, some way, through the 37 fights that I've had, people still overlook some things, some of the qualities that I have. I think that the avid boxing fans, they're like, man, Shawn can win this fight. Shawn does this, Shawn does that. And they got a whole list of things that I can do. But then there's a bigger group of people who are just like, well, this is a test for Terence Crawford. We're going to see what Terence really has. And I don't take it personal, but at the same time, you got to understand that this is more than a test for Terence Crawford. This is, his livelihood is on the line, and everything that he's about is on the line. And with that being said, it's more than the test. And I think that people, that's the question that's really going to be answered there is, I think after this fight, Shawn Porter is going to be looked at as not going to be looked at anymore as that quote unquote test for fighters or a specific fighter.
Perfect. Thank you very much, and best of luck.
Hey, real quick, I want to go to Alan Alford real quick because my man been cheesing this entire show. So we'll end with him.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Thank you, Shawn. I appreciate that. Yeah, my question is this. Typically, when it comes to Terence fights, when he switches styles, in a nutshell, the fight's normally about over. Yeah. How are you going to handle when he switches styles that in the ring, him going from an orthodox to southpaw and adjust to that on the wing and be successful?
Sure. I got here because of my foundation. And that's a great question, Alan. I got here because of my foundation. I got here because I started boxing when I was 5 years old. I started competing when I was 8 years old. I got here because I never stopped. I played football in between. I did some other sports in between, but boxing has always been a part of my life. Anyone at the top of the boxing world, when you take a look at their history, more times than not, they started when they were young. It's something that they've always done. Even when you take a look at Terence, his story is a lot the same. A part of my foundation, I don't know why my dad created this rule, but my dad had a rule. When guys would switch, you jump on them. You don't allow a guy to switch and adjust to now fighting from the other stance. And so with that being the rule of boxing for me at such a young age, that's a part of my foundation. So when you're asking me, well, man, how are you going to handle when he switches? Well, I've been handling that literally my whole life. I'm 34. I've been doing this since I was 6 years old. I've been competing since I was 8. That's a part of who I am. Part of who I am is handling guys when they want to switch styles or they want to go from being a counterpuncher to being aggressive and so on and so forth, So Here's the thing, man. I'm prepared for everything that Terence Crawford is going to bring on fight night, and easier said than done. But my record speaks for itself. I always answer the bell. I'm always ready, and there's a reason my name is Showtime. I show up on Showtime.
Hey, Shawn, before we let you go, first of all, thanks so much for spending time with everybody on this call. I can just see everybody's faces smiling, everybody's grinning. Everybody's excited about this fight.
Yeah, man.
Final thoughts before you click leave meeting.
I'm excited myself. I think that all of the talking is just about done. I got a couple of surprises next week I'm excited about. And man, this is basically who I am. And this is what I do, and I'm looking forward to next week. I will also say this. You've never seen, Terence Crawford has never been in the ring with the fighter as confident, as poised, and as excited as I'm going to be on fight night. And that is a problem for him. You guys have a great day.
Thank you, Shawn.